You are listening to episode 14 of the Peaceful Mind Podcast.
Welcome to the Peaceful Mind Podcast, a place for creating the peace of mind you need to be the best mom you are created by God to be. If you want to bring more balance, more joy, and more peace to your motherhood, this is the place for you. I'm your host, certified life coach and Catholic mom, Danielle Teenel. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let's get started.
Hello everyone, happy November. It's a beautiful brisk fall day here in Nashville, Tennessee, where I am and where I am recording episode 14. Wow, episode 14. We are moving along. 14 happens to be my favorite number because it was the day of the month I was born on, which is the only reason I can think of at the moment of why it is my favorite number, but that's a good enough reason, I suppose. I want to thank all of you too, because there has been well over 500 downloads so far of the podcast, and I'm pleased that you are listening and sharing it. Speaking of sharing, are you on my email list yet? That is where I share. In addition to the podcast, you can have more access to life coaching principles, personal insights to my mom life, and also to be in the know of current offerings I have that you may want to take advantage of, especially right now. So go to danielleteenel.com. The link will be in the show notes to get on my list. You can jump on by signing up for my free guide that will help you make peace a priority in your life. I also have a fun Catholic mom personality quiz to sign up for. And once you're on my list, you can learn about what coaching opportunities I have for you to work with me one-on-one, or for access to an online course that is in the works and that you won't want to miss, my friends, I promise. So today I'm going to talk to you about two kinds of models. Not the kind you would find in a magazine or on a TV commercial, but one being a role model which you're most likely familiar with already, and two, a coaching tool called the model. In fact, it's the number one coaching tool I use to get to the root cause of what's in the way of my clients being their best selves. And I use the model to coach the minds of my clients to feel peace about all they are currently struggling with. Once learned, you too can access this tool to help up-level your life in amazing ways. Using the tool, the model, on your mind will have you showing up in your life as the best role model for yourself and your children and for all who you encounter. So let's get talking about what it is by touching on first what we already know. We already know about role models. So the definition of a role model, says dictionary.com, is it's a person whose behavior, example, or success is or can be emulated by others, especially by younger people. It's a person, I'm repeating this again, it's a person whose behavior, example, or success is or can be emulated by others, especially by younger people. Okay, I found that last part interesting, especially by younger people. Why would that be? My guess is that their mind is still open and growing and available to absorb new things, whereas an adult mind is often full and stuck in old patterns and resistant to change. But back to role models. It's just who we look up to, right? Maybe for you, it's someone who has what you want to have. Like not in a jealous way, but one where the person may be showing us or showing you the way to get what it is you long to achieve. They may have already created what you want and they can help you to do the same. You may not even know them, but you can learn from how they take actions in the world to get where you want to get to. So let's just speak of the greatest role model for a moment, Jesus Christ. He is a source for how to be, yes? Think of how he lived his life on earth. He was known as a gentle, patient, peaceful, God-loving, intelligent, committed, inspirational, and again I'll mention, loving man. He made sacrifices and also stood up for his beliefs. He had regular intervals of rest, introspection, and he worked hard. He let nothing come before his prayer life and sought to make a difference to every single person he came in contact with just by example. He was slow to anger and persevered in his purpose. He was kind, forgiving, and merciful. The Gospels are full of stories and examples to reveal how he acted and lived his life. If ever in doubt, we all can always return here to know how to be. We can refer to the Gospels to give us examples through the words Jesus spoke and actions he showed there, and find complete relevance to our lives now to role model after. We can use Jesus' life on earth as a tool to show us our own way of being, yes? And my faith-filled moms listening here, let's also set our eyes on Mary's life, our greatest role model we could have for our motherhoods. What would Jesus do? It's still such a relevant question to carry with us. And I would offer that whenever in doubt, as you are met with challenges in the midst of your motherhood, to ask the question to yourself, what would Mary do? Now, keeping the examples I shared of having a role model in mind, of looking to another person's way of living to help you decide on how you may want to live your life today, let's just summarize that we can decide on a way to live out our lives and purposely go about creating that for ourselves. And that brings me to the second model I want to talk to you about, because this model is exactly what will help us go about creating that for ourselves. The second model was created to be used in a way to show you what your mind is doing to create the life you are currently living. Why is this important? Because when you use this model to see what you are currently creating for yourself, you will then have the personal power to decide from there if it is what you want to keep creating for yourself or not. The choice is always yours. The model, as it's named, is the creation of Brooke Castillo, the founder of the Life Coach School, where I was trained and have one of my life coaching certifications from. She created this tool that she named the model, and as I introduce it as an overview to you today, just know it'll show up again and again in my teachings, and we'll take deeper dives into the different parts of it as we continue the podcast journey we are on together. So the model is a way to see how everything in your life works. It breaks everything of life into 5 categories. Yes, everything, and just 5 categories. Yes, that's right. Simplify everything that takes place in the world into just 5 categories. I love it. I love simplification. And this, my friends, definitely is that. So the 5 categories of the model are circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. And how they all relate to each other is the key to creation. And I mean what each of us create for ourselves in this earthly life. This is our circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results, and how they all fit together. So, circumstances, they can trigger thoughts, and then thoughts create feelings. Feelings drive action or inaction, and our actions lead to the results we have in our lives. So let me break it all down. Let me break down the definitions of each of the 5 categories of the model, and then I'll go back and repeat in a different way what I just said here before and how they all relate to each other. So the first category, circumstances, are things that happen in the world that we cannot control. Circumstances are factual. They're strictly the facts. No drama or opinions at all. They are neutral. Circumstances just exist, or 100% they happened. An example being your current weight. That's a fact. What your bank account balance is. Circumstance of life. How old you are? Circumstance. How many kids you have? Circumstance. What your husband said to you this morning, the exact words he spoke, is a circumstance. These all can be used in the category of circumstances. The next category of the model is thoughts, which are things that happen in the mind, in your mind. The words strung together to make up phrases that begin in your mind, the ones that just pass through your mind. This is more challenging to decipher at first, for you've been taught to believe that some thoughts that you think are actually facts and are true and are circumstances. But what happens in your mind are thoughts. Some examples are, I never have enough time to get everything done. That is a thought, not a fact. My children need to behave better. She shouldn't have been so mean to me. I can't ever lose weight. If I only had more money, things would be better. These are examples of phrases that come into your mind, and they can be separated from circumstances that are happening outside of you. Thoughts happen inside the mind. So the next category of the model, the things of this world that can be categorized, is feelings. Feelings, which are also called emotions, are vibrations that happen in your body. The cause of feelings are thoughts, not circumstances, like you may have come to believe. All the feelings you ever have experienced, joy, nervousness, irritation, excitement, resentment, commitment, sadness, peace, every single emotion on your life journey has been caused by you, yourself, and more specifically, caused by the thoughts you have chosen to think about circumstances. Okay, I know that it's a lot, and just stay with me here. Again, when you're first introduced to these concepts, it won't sink in, but maybe you listen to this episode again, or as we journey down the road in this podcast, I'll begin to be more specific. But we're now to the fourth category of the model, which is actions. These refer to behavior, reactions, or inactions that we take in our lives. What you do, how you show up, all the actions you take, and just as important to know, all the actions you don't take or aren't taking because you feel a certain way. Yes, our actions are directly related to our feelings. Feelings drive our every action or inaction, which then leads us to the fifth and final category, results. The results we have been created, which are what we see in the world, which I mean in our own lives that we've created, the results we see around us, are the effect of our actions. When you look around at your life and visibly see the things around you, well, what job you have, what desk you are sitting at, the amount of money you have, the clothes on your body, how many children, You have who you're married to. It's all your life results. And these results are the evidence of what you created in your mind when you first began to create it with a thought. The results you create for your life will always be evidence for the original thought. And this is why we look to our minds to see what is happening in there. This, quote, mind work that I now use to help my Catholic mom clients create the most peaceful life they dreamed of living is all because we get to look at how we are using these 5 categories for ourselves, how we're using it for us or against us. And we can then increase more wanted results or change our internal mental wiring to produce different results in your life. Amazing. It's just amazing. I love it so much, not only for what this model has given me personally to change things for myself and create the life I've always dreamed of having, but I love it for its simple genius and how it is now being used by many and so many others to change the world, one person at a time. So let's recap the 5 categories of the model. We have circumstances, which are just facts that take place or exist. Then we have thoughts about the circumstances. Those thoughts create a feeling in ourselves, and that feeling then drives us to act or drives us to inaction. And those actions lead to a result that was first created in our mind when the process started as a thought. I first offered the role model example of Jesus' life and then the reminder of Mary's example in order to get your mind brewing on your own life, to have you go searching for what you are currently doing that they did too, so you can see that you are creating great things in your life. Seeing them as a role model will also bring thoughts of where you aren't showing up as the kind of woman you may want to be, and that's good to know too, right? I've then briefly introduced you to a tool called the model that is useful to examine your own life by seeing what you are currently creating through 5 categories. When you break down a life situation into those 5 categories, it will reveal to you where and how to make the desired changes you are after. And for me, what I ultimately want is to work for you and myself to have a peaceful mind. Please know I love you all. I welcome you to let me know you are listening by rating and reviewing the podcast. Have a great day, and I'll be back again next week.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Are you ready to take everything I teach you here and put it to work for your own life? To really learn how to have peace of mind no matter what is happening around you? If so, I'd love to have you as a client. As your coach, this is where you'll get personal and focused time on your own mind using life coaching tools, concepts, and proven life-transforming wisdom, all through a faith-filled lens. To learn more about how we can work together, come on over to danielleteenel.com. There, you'll see how to sign up for a free coaching consult and learn how to get started. Until next time, peace be with you always.